It's funny, this is the second most dangerous continent, and yet it's so far been so much more dangerous. I guess because Rougeard was there before. Rougeard could handle everything, so it made the place seem a lot less dangerous. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. Theta here, back with another episode of Mushoku Tensei. We're in Season 2. We are going straight into Episode 19. I should say, I believe I said we were going to be watching something special this time. I tried to watch a Episode 18.5 special thing that was released in a week's delay that they had, and it turns out that it was laden with spoilers, also untranslated. Not worth spoiling myself on, so we're moving right into the next episode. Have no comments from last time, so gonna go right into my notes though. So, the Rougeard's heroic tales thing last episode started with, I'd personally go with the pamphlet and figure package that was Rudy's last idea. Sorry, sometimes my notes are just as well written as my thoughts are, which is reminds me of those old DC comic deals where you get the comic and a mask that has to do with that comic. Like if you guys remember the arc where Joker rips his own face off and then staples it back on later. You had that special edition comic with mask. There was the Court of Owls mask that came with that special edition comic as well. In this case, you would buy a spurred statue, and it comes about with a story about who the statue is of. I'm pretty sure we've covered that the literacy rate in this world is fairly high, so it could work out. We know people love the figures. One of Rudy's early works traveled cross-continent and into Zenoba's hands, so I think that's probably the best way. Unless Rudy wants to, like, invent movies or something. Wouldn't put it past him. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, force of habit. Usually when I'm taking notes and discussing notes in shows that I do with other co-hosts, I delete the notes immediately after I take them to save space or something. I don't even know why I do that. So here I am in the middle of taking the thing, I'm just deleting the notes. I'm like, oh no, what am I doing? Aisha and the whole maid thing is still something I have a problem with, especially given how her mother limits her own self-expression in order to once again control her daughter and force her down the path of a maid. Granted, Aisha is the most talented child we've seen in the entire show, so there clearly hasn't been that much of a lasting negative to it. It just feels very wrong. I suppose it's just something I wish that the show would address, because so far it feels like am I the only one seeing this? So we have Nanahoshi's 5-step plan. 1. Summon inorganic matter, which we've done. 2. Summon organic matter, which we are trying. 3. Summon an organism, e.g. a plant or small animal. 4. Summon an organism from this world that meets specific conditions. 5. Finally, experiment with returning that summoned creature to its original location. It makes logical sense and works within increasing difficulty, so it seems like a well-reasoned plan where if any of these steps fail, then it presents a roadblock to her getting home. Essentially, teleportation gets tested as an idea with step 1. If that wasn't possible, teleportation home would have been a no-go from the outset. Then we make sure that living things can even be teleported at all. If that wouldn't work, she could possibly send communications home, but not return. Step 3 would possibly be the test of how much mana would be required to summon a creature, and the consequences of it, aka no massive Turning Point 1 event again. If there were, I feel like you could certainly mitigate them, say via remote location. 4 would be then refining the process to be able to target a specific creature. Because if Nanahoshi's goal is to send herself back, she is going to have to be able to define herself as the target over every other person, right? The last step is then just being able to pick a specific location and ensure you land your subject there, as any teleport to Earth would have to be made blind, considering there is no magic on Earth for an observer to let you know that testing it here is the only possibility to be able to tell that you've landed a target where you mean to land it. So yeah, like I said, it's a well-reasoned plan. It's logicked out. I find no flaw in it whatsoever. I feel like it could easily be its own spin-off anime. Uh, Sorry, I think I just wrote this down without prefacing what I mean. Nanahoshi, Back on Earth, could be its own spin-off anime. Nanahoshi's rings have mana stored in them, right? When and if she ever gets back to Earth, she could conceivably be the only person on the entire planet with real magic in whatever those rings can do, I mean. That's a story I'd probably watch, especially with the build-up of the backstory of this character, since we initially met her. Well, I guess technically we met her in the first episode of the car crash, but since what she's gone through in order to earn friends, I guess we could also do flashbacks to her journey with Orsted. There's a lot you can do with this character in a spin-off by herself that I think would be incredibly well done. I mean, my stupid ass brain can only think of like sitcom moments of like where she applies lessons that she's learned back in this fantasy world and her journeys with Orsted into how she deals with people in her ordinary life in the real world again. I don't know. I think there's a lot you could do there. Maybe I'm too dumb to come up with it on my own, but I'd watch. So if I'm remembering correctly, one's mana is built up over extended use, like working a muscle. And Rudy's reserves are so large because he's been building them up since he was a toddler, especially all that time spent isolated in his room. It's been rare that he's pushed himself to the extreme anymore, so that muscle doesn't get worked as much, and his reserves don't get any bigger. I mean, he's already as big as gods, I believe a commenter said before, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't grow them more. And I feel like that's something last episode may have been expressing. All these people are asking for Rudy's aid in things that explicitly require him to use up his mana. The teleportation circle tests, Elise's chastity belt, for example, and in that way he might be building up larger and larger reserves as he like dumps all of his mana on things that are very mana intensive. Sylphie is probably expecting. I was thrown at first by any number of things, thinking of Rudy as a dad most of all, because we've been with him as a viewer for so much of his life. It'd be like imagining Truman from The Truman Show as a dad. The main thing, though, was the speech we got about how difficult it would be to conceive based on her species, and the fact that Elise has had that curse and only had the one kid that she told us about. It'd be amazing if Rudy and her had a kid, and I'd love to see that storyline, but the worry I have now is how the show often makes right-hand turns to slap us with a dose of reality or adult problems when we least expect them. Neither of our main characters thinking about pregnancy complications, or at least not having any specific talk with Sylphie about these things, just has me worried that this will be the new unexpected source of depression in their lives. Because that's also something that Mushoku Tensei does, is hit us with new depression when we think we can't get any lower. I'm kind of worried about Ariel now. She gave Sylphie 2 years time off for the pregnancy, where Elise said that she'd step in to handle bodyguard duty. Then when Rudy said he'd stay, she said she'd go and try and help. Elise, I mean. Which means that she's not going to be doing the bodyguard duty. We haven't seen him talk to her again, so in this nebulous state of go/no-go, If she goes, Ariel is conceivably left with just Luke as her bodyguard, which might be the moment that her brother chooses to strike. Because again, the thing I'm thinking about often is the fact that there's a lot of working background elements of the show, of say like characters we haven't seen in a while, but were a threat or could perceivably be a threat again. Maybe not so much to our main character, but to characters that our characters care about. So, yeah, the brother is still out there. The brother's friend who hired the assassin, conceivably still out there, could choose to strike when she's at her lowest, and literally just having Luke means that she's wide open in the women's dorms, for example. I don't know. I feel like that's a worry that the show may think have slipped our minds, and it's there. It will take at least a year to reach Begaret. As much time as it takes to save Zenith, then a year back. Unless they spend some of that time helping Nanahoshi with her research. She's on step 2 right now. If they could get her to say step 4, they could summon Zenith here, or somewhere nearby, maybe. Hell, if they could get her to step 5, they could teleport anywhere, and possibly back again, without all that time spent. It could still be possible to live without regrets. It would just involve having to explain to everyone why you're not leaving to save your family, which, beyond the actual research, is a real problem. Or would be the real problem. Right up there with explaining that you are actually from another world yourself. So, I understand that my whole loophole in the living without regrets thing, vis-a-vis the conversation that Rudy has with Human God, that it's impossible to avoid regrets. If we could power through Nanahoshi on her research, loophole is there, could live without regrets, because I'm real worried about what those regrets might actually be. My immediate thought after the episode was over was that the regret Human God was indicating towards was that Sylvie dies in childbirth while he's gone, and the advice is to hook up with someone else was the indication that he should get over his grief and move on. It doesn't work from the perspective that that's the advice he should follow if he doesn't leave, but I guess that would still follow on the train of thought that he'd have regrets no matter where he is. If so, then this would mean that he'd lose someone no matter where he is, which isn't an outcome that I'd want to see. But I'd also want to point out that I also said that I don't want him hooking up with other people, because I just want the Sylvie family to be it. I don't see a need to... I don't know, it feels weird knowing how perverted Rudy is, or has been in the past. I don't want Mushoku Tensei to become a harem. And I'm not thinking about it off the top of my head. He did sleep with Eris once already. So I guess it's not impossible for them to bring Eris back, and Eris has a kid. Oh, they could be doing it. Oh, they could be fucking doing it. That Rudy just fucked up already, and he already has a harem-type family. Not a harem family. That he has a bunch of kids with other people. Technically, he didn't sleep with Sarah, so I think we're still safe there. He hasn't slept with a lot of people, so it's not like he's only slept with 2 people, right? So I think we're safe. Unless he takes Human God's advice, but he shouldn't do. I don't want him to do that. Alright, well, I've already rambled on for a good 15 minutes now. I guess it's time for us to see what the show has in store for us, rather than my assemblage of worries and hopes and plans for what the show may do for us. So, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
ベガリット大陸へ行く。そう決めたはいいが、シルフィーに話して泣かれでもしたら決心が鈍りそうだった。
Yeah,
俺はまず
that'd be a
エリ
fucking
ナ・リーゼ
thing.
に話すことにした。
私はあなたに残れと言ったんですのよ。ええ、ですが。はあ、仕方がありませんわね。二人で行きましょうか。ありがとうございます。
I mean, I already covered this in the opening of the show that she's fucking there.
初めてですけど、ざっと見積もって片道8ヶ月といったところですわね。俺の想定よりかなり早いですよ。さすが年の子。おだてないでくださいまし。それよりも問題は私の呪いのことですわね。
Bring Cliff with you.
旅の間、俺とエリナ・リーゼさんはしない。え、そうですわね。クリフ先輩が作ってる。
Cliff has no reason to stay here. I mean, no, nothing forcing him to stay here.
持ち出すのなら、クリフに旅のことを話さなくてはなりませんわ。まだ話してないんですか？うん。ちゃんと話しましょう。別れ話ではなく、これからのことを。そうですわね。
I'm not.
往復16ヶ月。
I don't think they're gonna break
向こ
up.
うのトラブル以下では
We've invested too much in this
挨
relationship.
拶回りだけはしっかりしておこう。
Oh fuck, how's Nanahochi gonna take this?
どうぞ。
Because she needs him for the research.
何？いつもと時間が違うけど。
実は一つ残念なお知らせをしに来ました。
残念なお知らせ？
旅に出ます。ベガリット大陸の迷宮都市ラパンまで。往復で約2年ほど。
ベガリット迷宮都市ラパン2年？
Wasn't it a teleportation labyrinth? Shouldn't she come with to investigate the teleportation
ど
there?
うしても行かなければならないんです。
I guess when they called it a teleportation labyrinth.
では失礼します。
待ちなさい。
Putting on the gear? No? Okay.
これを見て。
これは？
世界各地にある転移魔法陣の場所を記した地図よ。そのページに書かれているのはシャリーヤからベガリット大陸への転移魔法陣の場所よ。
Oh, from that expert that hasn't been named yet?
口止めされていたのよ。ラパンという町の名前は確かに聞いたわ。この転移魔法陣の近くにあるバザールから北へ1ヶ月ぐらい移動すればたどり着けるって。
1ヶ月だと
間に合う。シルフィーの出産に。
Damn.
あまり言いふらせない
Fucking
でよ。
working out better. Here's the
転移魔法
problem.
陣は禁術だから国に見つかったらすぐに潰されちゃうわ。
Here's the problem is that any amount of good news that we get is always hit by like 5 times as
私
much
は
bad
恩を
news.
返しただけよ。早く戻ってきて研究を手伝ってよね。
はい。
Ah. I also have to recheck out the opening here for everyone that is involved in that fight that here happens near the end of the opening. Because I can't remember. Something in my head wants to say that Sylvie was there at the fight. I don't think that's true. But it's been a while since I've gone over what I saw in the opening and my breakdown of each of the elements that I've like spent time talking about. But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't take Nanahoshi with, or she didn't offer to go. I mean, obviously, maybe it's an element of there's not much she can do with her lack of magic. But the whole element that I think it's a teleportation labyrinth, isn't it? Alright, here's the no blink moment. Ah, crap. No, that was Elenice. I'm probably thinking of Elenice as the one that's there. So I've just replaced an elf in my head with a different elf. Which I guess is kind of specious when it comes to the fantasy world. Not helpful, though, that there is a shot of... How did I not pick up that there was a shot of Sylphie holding her stomach and looking out towards the sky? I could have really picked up that she was pregnant early on.
父さんと母さんを助けに行こうと思う。
わかった。家のことは任せて。
突然いなくならないって約束守れなくてすまない。
守ってるよ。全然突然じゃないしね。どれくらいかかるのかな。2年くらい。
実は七星の協力で転移魔法陣を使わせてもらえる
Why
こ
would
と
the
に。
government get rid of teleportation circles rather than regulate them?
転移って大丈夫なの？
I guess that might explain why they decapitated Soros if, like, teleportation is such a taboo.
絶対に帰ってくるから。アイシャ。
はい。
頼めるな。
大丈夫だと思う。
ダメだと思ったら頼れそうなやつに頼むんだ。何でも一人でやろうとするな。
はい。
ノル。
はい、兄さん。
シルフィーやアイシャがいっぱいいっぱいだと感じたら助けてやってくれ。はい。そうだ。子供の名前
I guess the other worry I have now that I didn't mention before is Badigatti.
名前ってルディ。お兄ちゃん。
He seemed upset of Rudeus's connection to Rougeard.
旅に出る前に子供に名前なんてつけたら帰ってこられないよ。
しまった。この世界の死亡フラグだったか。
じゃあこうしましょう。子供の名前は帰ってきたらつけることにして、それまでに生まれたらルーデウスジュニアと呼びましょう。
わかった。シルフィーもそれでいいかな。
Oh god, don't make us feel bad.
シルフィー。
See, I appreciate that she's like the loving, doting wife that is just willing to go with this, but obviously she's not okay.
知り合い全員に挨拶をした。あれ以来、バーディーガーディには会ってないが。
Oh, see, fucking bringing him up.
やっているだろう。ジーナス教頭には休学願いを出し、天意とベガリット大陸にまつわる本、それぞれの貸し出し許可をもらった。万が一の
Something bad's gonna happen with Badigatti.
旅の計画は
They didn't get shown that whole Rougeard thing for no
ここから
reason.
1週間で転移魔法陣のある森へ行き、そこからベガリット
It's a
大陸へ
fucking
転移し、
massive horse.
約1ヶ月かけてラパンへ向かう。そして迅速に家族を助け、同じルートで戻る。準備は整った。
God, was that one of those horses that they use with the Budweiser commercials?
問題ありません。
ルーデス。
Clydesdale or
未
something?
完成だが、なんとかここまで小型化できた。伸縮性があるし、この上から着衣しても問題ないはずだ。
Oh my god, was the idea that she had to wear that on the outside before?
はい。
Fucking hell.
クリフ。
リーゼ、帰ってきたら式を挙げよう。呪いはまだ解けてないけど、二人で家を買って一緒に住もう。今までそうしなかったから不安にさせ
I
てしまっ
hate the
たんだ。
whole you have to buy a house to get married thing.
クリフ。私は黙っていこうとしたひどい女ですのよ。
結婚式はミリス式になるけど、いいか。リーゼはミリス教徒じゃないけど。
クリフ、愛していますわ。この世で誰よりも。
ルディ。
I think Cliff should just fucking go with.
シルフィー。すぐ帰ってくる。
See it through, man. There's no reason why you have to stay behind.
ノル、アイシャ、ルスを頼む。
兄さん、何も心配しないでください。頑張りますから。お兄ちゃんもご分を。
シルフィー、大丈夫。ルーデウスは私が守りますわ。きちんと出産までに戻りますわよ。
はい。
So, just trying to remember off the top of my head. Sylphie's been.
すべてうまくいきますわ。では。
No, you jinxed it. Just fucking jinxed it.
いってらっしゃい。
Sylphie's 2 weeks or 2 months late. Ah, come on. Fuck. Because if it's 2 months and then they're going to be gone for 2 months minimum plus whatever time it takes to get Zenith, we're looking at 5 months possible that they have on the outside to rescue Zenith before he could get back and still witness the pregnancy. Assuming a normal gestation length. I don't know. I don't know if elves have normal. I feel like Rudy's been doing the same math that I've been doing.
Mitsuke この石碑ですわね。
七星の情報と一致します。間違いないでしょう。結界を解除します。その竜はただ信念にのみ生きる。高層たるカイナからは何者をも逃れることはできない。2番目に死んだ竜。最も儚き瞳を持つ緑銀鱗の竜種。
Oh, is this how Orsted travels the world?
シラードの名を借り、その結界を今打ち破らん。
Is Orsted her source?
こんな魔術は見たことがありませんわね。
まさに遺跡という感じですね。
たまに迷宮がこんな感じですわ。念のために罠は注意してくださいまし。
了解です。
Surprised there's been a way to put the seal back up so other people don't wander in on this.
これが転移魔法陣ですの？
おそらくそうでしょう。確認してみます。
何ですのそれ？
転移の迷宮探索記という転移魔法陣について詳しく書かれた本です。細部は違いますが、双方向に転移できる魔法陣に間違いないでしょう。
Okay, so the teleporter labyrinth thing was just a general description and not of the place Zenith's at, right? So did I get that wrong completely?
お互いに触れながら上に乗るだけでいいそうですよ。どうしました？
いえ、私転移には少々嫌な思い出がありまして。
嫌な思い出
Yeah, tell me about it.
俺だってありますよ。
そうでしたわね。
さて、行きますか。
え？飛びましたわね。
そのようですね。一応戻れるか確かめておきますか。
私が行きますわ。万が一あなたがいなくなって。
You know, unless it has like a limited number of uses and you're gonna waste
わか
it.
りました。お願いします。遅いな。
Yeah, it might have like a whole recharge thing. Orsted. I was right. It's fucking how Orsted gets around.
きちんと戻ってこれましたわね。
少し遅かったですね。
そうですの？すぐ戻ってきたつもりですけど。
タイムラグがあるのか。
何にせよ、戻ってこれるなら問題はないでしょう。
Okay, so there's a whole time element. Which is kind of funny and odd, considering that the whole purpose of the teleportation thing is to save time.
どうやらちゃんとベガリット大陸に着いたみたいですね。
砂に埋まってはいるが、ここも遺跡なんだろうな。内側からは見渡せるが、外からは干渉できなくなる魔術なんだろうか。
どうします？少しでも移動しておきますか。
日も暮れかけてますし、
Also kind of funny that I thought this place was supposed to be underwater and the first place we go to is a desert. But even I've seen that that image of the city with a giant rib cage going over top of it, which I guess was in a desert, so makes sense. Well, I'll say I'm having a hard time here. Rudy can turn his mana into water. Fight it, Rudy.
グリフ。
いかんいかん。まだ大丈夫かと思っていたが、少し溜まっていたようだ。頭がモヤモヤする。
Make yourself some rock cuffs and lock yourself in. What the fuck? Is the desert known for having sirens? Sorry, were we playing D&D today? I forgot. I didn't bring a character. What the fuck?
まったく嫌な匂いですわ。大丈夫ですの？
エリナリーゼさん、一回でいいんです。スケベしようや。
早く解毒なさい。
エリナリーゼさん。
I guess he should be the one wearing the chastity belt, as it turns out.
スケベしようや。
Right, that's my recollection that this is the second most dangerous continent. Right after the Demon Continent, as according to Paul. Yeah, it's hard to forget the fact that Rudy can actually make it, like, torrential downpour if he wants at any point.
Watakushi, ちょっと行ってきますわ。
どこにです？
男あさりに先に寝ていて構いませんことよ。
わかりました。
魔道具の効果で呪いの影響は弱まってはいるが、結局は未完成ということか。
I mean, Cliff and her know what the relationship is all about. I don't think this is really a thing. It's fine.
ルーです。何か見えてきましたわ。
行ってみましょ
う。迂回かしら。
いえ、登りましょう。乗ってください。
Yeah, literally, we saw you do this at a window at the school. It's fine.
助かりますわ。魔力量が多いと頼もしいですわね。
任せてください。最短距離で行けるなら出し惜しみしませんよ。伏せて。
It's funny, this is the second most dangerous continent, and yet it's so far been so much more dangerous. I guess because Rougeard was there before. Rougeard could handle everything, so it made the place seem a lot less dangerous. riffing tonight.
Dozo, 焼けましたよ。あなたの味付け、結構好みですわよ。そりゃどうも。エリナリーゼさん、お行儀が悪いですよ。あら、ゼニスみたいなことを言いますのね。母さんはそんなことを？女の子なんだから、もっといろいろ気をつけてください。そういえば、初めて出会った頃のゼニスは、ちょうどあなたくらいの年頃でしたわね。16歳ぐらいですか？ええ、右も左もわからない小娘で、パウロにナンパされて連れてこられましたのよ。
Well, she's a healer. Not a lot of specialized healers we've met in the world so far.
何があったか聞いても？聞かない方がいいですわ。あなたも父親の地上のもつれなんて知りたくもないでしょ。
Oh, come on, Paul. Not more of this Paul shit.
パウロのことだし、どんな愛憎劇があったのかなんとなく想像がつくな。
でもラパンに着いたらきっと謝ってくれますよ。何を言っても許しませんわ。
Oh, come on. Is Paul just fucking evil? Did he, like, have a whole evil arc of SA?
ようやくですわね。
Or, never mind, I forgot this is anime. It's probably that he chose Zenith over her. There's just the element of... I can't tell, is this gonna go ordinary anime route, where, oh, actually it turns out Elise is just jealous. Jealous that Paul chose Zenith. Or is this gonna go fucking the Mushoku Tensei route, which is, hey, remember what Paul did to Lilith? Turns out Paul did it to Elise as well. Fucking hell, I can't... Sometimes I just can't figure out which way we're gonna go. Also, I have to say, in the back of my head, the real worry is that if we don't pan back to what the other people are doing, they are always at threat, right? If the camera never goes back to the academy to see what's happening with Sylvie and the kids and Zenoba and Ginger and Julie and etc., we got no fucking idea. Also, not for nothing, I had my worry about Bodigatti. We then go to the school and Bodigatti is nowhere to be seen. Ah, he's fucking okay. And then out of the blue, we get attacked by a succubus, which I believe, in common parlance, is a kind of demon. Bodigatti, king of the demons. Wonder what the fuck is going on there. Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna get there next episode. I guess I was just 100% wrong. I feel like the last season, where they showed Zenith, and they show like a lake, and then they go down underneath the lake, and then under the ground, and we see that the implication is that she's in an underground labyrinth, and I thought it was an underwater labyrinth. Just was a whole fake out, because it seems like they're in the middle of the fucking desert. And they're about to enter the labyrinth from the middle of the desert, so what the fuck was the pan down underneath all the water? I don't know. Fucking boggles the mind. Alright, as I've always, or have consistently said in recent times, I stream these live starting around 11 a.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. EST on Fridays, so I do have a comment section, and I'm going to go ahead and read what Alex is saying in the comment section here at the end of the episode, because I think it's probably not a spoiler. You've written out your bit, and I'm going to assume it's not a spoiler, Alex, and if you turn out to be wrong, The farewell scene between Elenice and Cliff was changed in time and place and also in situation. The scene should happen shortly after the beginning of the episode, after Elenice and Rudeus talk about the trip and the route, and before Rudeus goes with Nanahoshi. In the scene, Rudeus and Elenice go to Cliff to announce their departure. Elenice is a bit rude to him to discourage him from going with them on the trip, but Cliff understands the situation and that would only be a burden. Gives the magic device to Rudeus and proposes to Elenice. At that moment, they become very affectionate, and while Rudeus makes a strategic retreat, Elenice and Cliff make love in the classroom. And if I'm not mistaken, that was Cliff's first time. When Rudeus is returning from Nanahoshi to pick up Elenice, upon entering the classroom, he sees Cliff sucked dry of life, and Elenice saying that she no longer wants to go with Rudeus. Comically, nothing serious. Okay. Second there, I thought you were alluding to in the manga or the novel, Elenice kills Cliff with sex. It's like, what the fuck is happening? I guess that would be the succubus motif thing happening. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not terribly bothered by how the show handles it. I actually just wish that Cliff had gone with, but I understand that you would get some of these other comedy scenes with Rudy and Elenice if Cliff had been there. I just don't see that Cliff has any reason not to go. I mean, maybe we have the understanding that Cliff isn't as talented as he was supposed to have been, or was bragging himself to be back in the back in the previous special. I guess the Eris Goblin Slayer was the name of it. It was just escaping my brain there. That was a comparison to an earlier season, and thus not actually as stand up as he would be as an adult or late teen, as say Rudy or Elise is. But I still think he has merit. He's a healer, for one thing. He can do healing magic. I don't think he would have been a burden at all. I guess maybe there's the element that don't tell the possibly future Pope where the teleportation circles are at, because he might then have an obligation to the government to have them removed. I don't know. I just think, in my preference, Cliff would have gone. Yeah, like I said, the whole Badigatti connection thing, even though I only just came up with it while watching, I can't help but notice again the fact that he wasn't there at the school when they went to talk to him, and then they get attacked by, again, succubi are demons, so he's up to no good, I feel like, and I don't know. Obviously, Orsted uses the teleportation network himself. It feels like it's a whole dragon connection on the seal thing outside. He's a dragon associated guy, it feels like, even though he's like yelling at dragons at the sky. The fact his clothes are there. And yeah, I did notice you made the comment in when the episode happened that Rudeus had stole his clothes, or said would try to hunt him down to kill him. Never occurred to me in my brain to steal Orsted's clothes. That just seems like a fucking stupid thing to do. So yeah. Otherwise, great episode. Still like it, but I'm still on the edge of my seat waiting for the other shoe to drop. What's the next fucking negative thing? I guess the worry in my head now is that we're gonna get there, and that Paul and everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Rudy?" And it turns out no one knows that Geese sent the message or something. There's just so much shit that can go wrong. And the thing that hasn't entered my brain in a while now, since we've been at the school, has been that while they're traveling, shit can go wrong all the time. And that hasn't been a problem for a long time because we haven't been traveling. It's been like school hijinks and nonsense. And it's like, I kind of got used to that. And now that we're traveling again, and we got shit that we can lose, that's the real change up. That is the major element of the turning point, is that we're not, we're not Rudy who suffers an emotional breakdown and points a knife at his own throat. We're Rudy who has to worry about everything that's not currently within his purview because he's got shit that he cares about, shit that he can lose, shit that will have more of an emotional impact on, say, the woman he loves dumping him on the street because he said something flippantly to a guy when she was behind his back, right? We're well past that. And that's my worry now, is that I can't help stop thinking about the stuff that Rudy should be worried about, but isn't expressing out loud because it's not that kind of show. Anyway, I'm in ramble time. Obviously, all these thoughts are going to come back next episode in notes, so I say we just go ahead and cover it all then. So until next time, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?